sorry, excuse me. Any NPC? What about behind y'all? Any NPCs over there? Right. Oh, oh, nobody's here. Right. There we go, guys. Ryan is a sister side. Any sisters down there, if you're not watching small children, come on up. Okay, guys. Hey, we're gonna get started. Most High Christ bless everybody.
Most High Christ bless you too.
Okay, happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath to you too.
Thank you. All praises unto the Most High Israel. I like to know is how's the praying going for everybody constantly throughout the day. You know, it should fall right on time and help you through hard times. And that's those of you that don't know, we have began to pray constantly throughout the day, like Daniel did 3 times a day. So the morning time before you get up, how many of us are minded before you reach for the phone, you send up prayers? I know I do. You know, even before you reach for it, send up the prayer unto the Most High, then start your day. That's putting Him first, and then midday, in the noon hour. You ever take, if you miss it, that's all right. Just be minded and send up the prayers and stuff like that. And then the 5 o'clock hour, it's like an evening prayer. The things that we typically do, give thanks for our food. We always do that. And then in any time of need, you're sending up prayers. But the objective is to build a habit of coming to the Father throughout the day Throne of grace because we need help, because we're asking them. Help make the day go by and be with us as we go throughout our the times. Okay, so that's good. That's beautiful that it's working and it's helping. Okay, young saint. So let's see what else is that. Easy. Most important thing, one of the most important things are children. Suffer little children. Be patient with them, long suffering with them. And Christ himself said that we have got to become as little children, for such is the kingdom. So when he's saying to be like little children, he's not referring to us the mistakes that children make. He's referring to the temperament that children have, the lack of malice, the lack of anger, the lack of wickedness. And children are easy to forgive you. Unfortunately, that's why there's a lot of children, they suffer abuse at a young age. Now it's a thing that somebody started a program, tell somebody. Y'all seen that floating around social media somewhere, tell somebody. And that stems from those of, I'm going to say those of us, I wasn't abused as a child. Those of us that were abused as little children, we suffered the abuser. We gave them over and over and didn't know any better. Suffered affliction, physical, mental, emotionally, and forgave them. When we are in situations with one another that hurt, I'd like to say abusive, but situations that hurt, we got a long way to go. I'm telling you. Scriptures say, let him that thinketh he stand take heed. I know it. We got a long way to go. Christ said 70 times 70 in a day. That's 490 times. We're not even interacting with each other 490 times in a day. That's a person pulling and irritating and provoking and agitating and all different type of stuff and won't let you go through it in that day. But he said, if they repent, forgive. And so just imagine someone constantly say, I apologize. Hey, we run out of forgivenesses. The first time, second time, we grudging. We start telling people that you don't mean it or you wouldn't do it. And we start thinking and saying how much they understand and what they've been taught. When you're not the giver of grace, and this form of grace, I'm not referring to the form of grace that some extension, I'm saying grace of education to where the Lord has imputed unto this person knowledge and understanding. We don't know how much that person understands. We don't know if we start thinking that they have a mental disability. We start thinking all different types of stuff by somebody that's doing it over and over and over. That situation is formulating like the perfect storm, which is a bad storm to somebody who don't want their stuff destroyed. That's there for you. That's there for you so that you could put in the works of forgiving and learning how to forgive. But yet, we fall short. Our patience falls short. We have to learn. So remember, all this come from children. Being like children. Be children in malice and wickedness. Be children. Be forgiving. Accept what the person is saying. I apologize. Accept that. Fight with everything that's within you to allow that harm to just that they inflicted to just go away. That's something that we gotta do. Not charging them. So we're gonna continue in our lesson concerning Purim. So let's go back to the book of Esther. For those of you that are jumped on the different platforms, most bless you all. Yahweh Shai. Happy Sabbath. Share the class, tag somebody in it. All right, so we left off in the book of Esther, second chapter. In verse 10, all right. So Esther, chapter 2 and 10, Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred. So where is Esther at, Bo?
She's with Mordecai.
Okay. Jeremiah, where is Esther? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
I believe in the king's house.
Okay. Right. She's in the palace that belongs to the king. And what's his name? VJ?
Mordecai.
No, king's name is not Mordecai. Who is Mordecai though? Same person, BJ. Is there another child up here? Okay, Corin, who's Mordecai?
Esther's uncle.
Esther's uncle, right? Okay, so he's an uncle, and Esther is in the palace of what's his name? Ja? You don't remember? Okay. Okay, Jabril, you wait me answer. I can see it. What's his name? Shh, that's not his name. Xerxes?
Well,
Is that what you said? Ahasuerus. Okay, that's his name. Right, correct. Okay. So I want to go to the book of James. No, it's not James, it's Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 2, verse 1. And I want us all to read this. Hebrews chapter 2, and verse 1. On 3. 1, 2, and 3.
Therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip.
Okay. So, what does that mean, a novel?
You need to pay attention to what's coming out. Or we don't forget.
All right, we need to pay attention to the details. Can you imagine teaching the congregation and not knowing just some of the general things? I think they're basic. The questions that I asked, I think they're basic for us. There wasn't trickery or hard questions. These things we learn year in and year out, every year. Plus, you should be studying the scriptures on your own, but it's about making a choice, choosing. So you got to, when we go through the certain things, you really got to keep don't overthink it. It's not difficult or hard, but put your thinking cap on and just remember the storyline. Like when we watch movies and we find out the character's name, we remember those characters' names, right? And what they did. Let's use a popular series. What's that? Walk of the Dead, right? The guy that was the sheriff, what was his name? Rick. And his partner that betrayed him, that eventually ended up, what was his name? Shane. Right. So the Chinese guy that got beat over the head, brutally murdered, that took us all for a downfall. We saw that. What was his name? Glenn. Right. You see how we remember those things right there? And the notorious, infamous bad guy over the whole show, everybody hated him. What was his name? Negan. So that's how we do with the scriptures. We take the story and we remember the characters, especially we do it yearly. And so when we get our refresher and we going through stuff like this, because one reason why we should want to remember these things is because this has something to do with the deliverance of our people. Where, let's see, what's some of the terms that we can put on it today, certain things that they want to do today that they did back then. And where's Young On? In the group talking about what time I'm starting. I always start the same time, maybe later, but where you at? See? Now he getting called out. Where you at, Young On? You on his way? So, Purim. Hey guys, for those of you that are out there, whether you're a here person, never kept it before, or you're on the social platforms and you never kept it before, it's a significant reason why we're reading this lesson and why we have to go through it, because it's a lesson that demonstrates the Most High delivered our people when something was going to happen to us. Total destruction was going to happen to us. And he kept that from happening. Okay. So I'm asking for your help because I can't think of anything. Maybe name some threats that, happen and use modern terms. They said they was going to do this and this was threatening to do that. What about civil war? That I just thought about that. We all know what a civil war is, right? When nations fight against another nation, a race war.
Right.
Come on, guys, you're supposed to be helping me. Shit, I'm thinking of it. Purge. There you go. A purge. That's exactly what that is. We've all saw the different purge movies. That's almost worth seeing the series again. That was so crazy. But when you saw that, all people of color was like, they were like inferred, man, Rob, we're like, man, we're gonna have to do something. They're gonna pour that on us. Why are they making the movie? Is there anybody in here that don't know what the purge is? It's okay, man, woman, or child. You know what it is, BJ?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's just like a place of no laws.
A place of no laws. Okay, well, that happened during the purge, but what is it? Purge. Not so much as the definition. What is the act? What were they saying? You saw the movies?
No.
Well, why you didn't raise your hand? You know why I call you in the months of adults? So you might sit around adults and hear some stuff that you ain't supposed to hear. But this is sitting among adults and you can hear this so that you can learn. Don't think I'm picking on you, so that you can learn. You're supposed to come out of this and be very sharp. So when you go around somebody else your age, you got a conversation different than that video game. Are they looking at girls? How old are you, 15?
14.
14, very close. They thinking about girls. You're like, wait a second. Nah, we ain't on that chat, man. We gotta be men. But this is what we is, and then you kick some righteousness, some knowledge. You're not just going through life, and the only thing you know is Call of Duty and what's the other game I named? Fortnite and the latest Jordans. Now you got to be smart pertaining to this world and prophecies and stuff like that. When you read Ecclesiastes 39, it says the person that give his mind to the Lord the Most High gonna be occupied in prophecies. Ain't no age limit, as young as you can comprehend. So the objective is when I call on the young boys being young men is to try and raise your understanding up. It's not to pick on you. So if you get an answer wrong and I say something about it, it's not to humiliate you. Nobody in here will feel like Sham picking on him or Sham is humiliating him. I wish that my sons would have been taught by elders other than me, to where somebody would have taken the time out to question them and say, I'm going to bring his level of understanding up. I'm going to make sure that he's not left behind. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I wish that. If I said nothing to you guys at all, you're going to forget. You really will. You're just going to be here in attendance, man. Your mind going to be somewhere else. You're not going to pull out that the king's name was Ahasuerus. You're not going to pull out that Esther was an Israelite that was in Shushan the palace. You're not going to pull these details out. You're just going to go through the motion, let us read the scriptures, and bam, be gone. You know what I remember from Sunday school when I went to the church when I was a kid? Nothing. Not a dang thing. Nothing. Because I didn't pay attention. I played. I don't remember anything. I can't remember anything that I learned from church, bro. And guess what? If nobody challenge your mind to excel, you'll do the same thing here. Because it's the same book. We're reading it. So don't take it personal when I say job or VJ or Dalton or Dash or Jabril or Corin or this brother or that brother, and you don't have the thing. If I say, well, that's not the answer. That's correcting you not having the answer. Then I'm bringing you to the scriptures that correct and says, hey, we really got to pay more attention because we're literally letting things slip. We are not to let things slip. Don't get taught the same things over and over and over and over. Retain, hold on to it. That's powerful right there. When you hold on to the lessons that you've been taught, stuff that was spoken unto you, because that's showing the Most High God that I'm ready for another lesson. I'm ready for something else. When somebody come around me and they're working, you know what they get sick and tired of? The first thing they get sick and tired of is what? The broom. Boy, they hate that dang broom. All we do is sweep. Because I'm looking for you to pay attention on how to do this. I want to do that. Okay. When you done sweeping and I need your hand, if you ready to run off, how you going to learn the next step? So come on, man. All right. So don't let the stuff slip. Stay with me. Stay with the storyline. The same way we do outside. A powerful thing I heard in the women's class. I help support it because I'm trying to build that. Sisters, it's y'all stuff too. Try to build it. I send it to everybody and their mother and grandmother. My mom in her 90s, she could barely pay attention. I'm like, put it in her face. Turn it on, put it in her face. I put it in my sister's face. I put it in auntie's face. And anybody that's a woman, put it in their face. Build that. Something I heard. Sorry, put it on silent. In that women's class was about weighing words in a balance. And you know, I had my 2 cents, but I ain't even supposed to be there. I was only there sharing it. But I do listen, to, for the edification and everything. So when it came to the weighing the words of the balance, I won't deal with that part, but I want us to be able to think about this when it comes to balance. If we know shows and characters and what they call the plot, yeah, that's it. The plot, what the story is all about. I can ask somebody, what happened in the movie? Break it down. What was it all about? They can tell me what it's all about and everything. They enjoyed it. Oh, it was cold. This and that, this and that, this and that. But then we get that part. But details like this Purim lesson, when you put that on a balance, what's heavier, weightier, and what's lighter? What holds no value on the scale? If the world holds the weight and our knowledge of the scriptures is high up in the space and high up on the scale, that's not what's valuable. That's what's least valuable. It holds no weight. It doesn't weigh the scale down. If it was gold and something else, I want the weight side. I want the side that weighed the scale down, opposed to the side that went up. Everybody, right? So when it comes to us and the knowledge of the scriptures, we want that scale to weigh down, weighty all the way down till it can't drop no more. And then the world, it goes up. That is a righteous balance unto the Most High. Not equal. Not equal. So let's get back to it, guys. The book of Esther. So now Esther the queen is inside of the palace, and her natural state advanced her. Her natural personality advanced her. Who remembers the eunuch's name? Where's the volume at? Who remembers the eunuch's name that was in charge of giving her the items? So you can just find it and tell me. What's his name? Yeah, right. Higgy. He got her all the things and even more because she was what? Fair and beautiful. Judah, she was what?
Meek.
Meek?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that she was. Anybody else? Let's see. Well, I guess we'd have to assume in verse 9, the maiden pleased him and she obtained kindness of him. And he speedily gave her things for purification, which things are such that belong to her. So, well, I said because of her personality, because of her spirit, you know, she had won him over. And so all because of the goodness in her. He was kind-hearted to her. So when you get to the end of 9, he preferred her. The scriptures say when a man ways please the Most High, he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of women. That's like you in a hotel and you get escorted to the penthouse, or you in a house and you get put in the favorite place of the house, the favorite guest room. You know, that was because she made an impression. She didn't wait to that day to have the skill to impress somebody. It just has to be instilled naturally in us. And if we humble ourselves, like we were speaking earlier, pertaining to children, with that good spirit in us, it's gonna come across to the right person, and that's gonna be somebody like Higgy, and they're gonna help you out. Okay, so being a nice person, it works out for you. Okay, so Esther had not showed her people her kindred. So her people is the Israelites. So look around, everybody. When you look around, this is how we look. We're the Israelites. Okay, this is how you look. So she didn't show the Israelites. For Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it. So she withheld that. Now, the thing about that is, by her withholding that she's a person of another nation, but what also is that telling you? That was around about her. Other melanated people, to where they couldn't differentiate the difference between her and other people. Okay? Now, for Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. Now, was Esther there by choice, or was she taken there? Go ahead, Judah.
She was taken there.
She was taken there. Yeah. She had no choice. She was taken there. Now when every maiden's turn now when every maid's turn was come to go into King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months. So that's a whole year. So she's taken into this palace. She's inside of this place. And she's there a year, right? They're not there by choice. Let's see. Find me where she hated her state.
16. Yeah. Uh, 14. Sorry, 16.
Okay, go to the Apocrypha, the rest of the book. Yes, it's a TikTok, and this is Bible study. In the Apocrypha, chapter 14, no, this is not Christianity. Yes, Israelites. We're Israelites. Speaking the scriptures. We're studying the Purim in the book of Esther. Go to the Apocrypha. Go to the Apocrypha and go to the 14th chapter. And now I'm going to start, and we'll read it a second time, but I'm going to start at verse 15 or verse 14. I'm going to start at verse 14. It says, but deliver us with thine hand, pay attention, the book of Esther in the Apocrypha, chapter 14, verse 14. Now, Purim has not passed. It starts March the 2nd. Do we have it? It's in the Apocrypha, chapter 14 and verse 14. Deliver us with thine hand and help me that am desolate, and which have no other helper but thee. So she's praying unto the Most High. Thou knowest all things, pay attention, O Lord, thou knowest that I hate the glory of the unrighteous. So who is she talking about? She is talking about Elam, the Persians. She is not there. They are not Hebrews. Then she says, and abhor the bed of the uncircumcised. What is she referring to? Men? What is she referring to? Julius? Ja? Okay, I'm gonna give us a moment to get our heads back into the lesson. Okay. I'm gonna start over. What I'm explaining to you guys is that, because it's a bigger thing, it's another point that I'm wanting to bring out, but I have to say this. And I'll just be a spoiler and just give the point. Maybe you can you find it interesting. Today's world, sisters, our women, they go to the other nations for money, for help, what they call financial stability and security, for comfort. Well, this sister here, she was, even though she was captive and she was taken and it was given to her, she didn't let it turn her. She hated it. You got to know these key factors and points about this lesson. You cannot just go through life and not be able to teach this, not be able to feel the grief and true understanding of what the people that lived it, what they went through. Today's world, if you take a woman from, this world and in this mind frame, being oppressed, these people here were oppressed. Israel during that time was oppressed. And she didn't just pick the gold and say, shit, I'm up in this palace, I'm kicking it, I'm turning this nigga out. So you call him a nigga. I'm gonna turn him, I'm gonna have his head gone. I'm gonna have all this. She didn't do that, brother. She was a different breed. She was peculiar. This sister was special, unique. She didn't take advantage of that situation. Our women are not supposed to take advantage of a cash deal. Because all gold ain't good, man. So, Esther chapter 14 and 15, thou knowest all things, O Lord. Thou knowest that I hate the glory of the unrighteous and the bed, and abhor the bed of the uncircumcised. She's calling him uncircumcised. This is later on down the line. They together. He's dealing with her. She says she hates it. And of all the heathen, thou knowest my necessity. For I abhor the sign of my high estate. She became what? The queen, and she hated it. What sense of sitting on a pagan empire? They were pagans. You riding a pig. You gonna glory in this? Which is upon my head in the days wherein I show myself, and that I abhor it as a minstrel rag. You know what a minstrel rag is? That thing, woo, that thing stinks. And that I wear it not when I am private by myself. So she didn't just go come in and out of consciousness unless he was showing her, because she was pretty, unless he was showing her and she had to be present and this, that, and the third. She went through it. She went through the motion, but in her private, she understood that all that, this is off. I don't desire this. So she took it for the team. She used being a captive to deliver our people. That was the only reason why she didn't just kill me. I ain't finna do nothing y'all say, just kill me. Send me packing or do whatever. Because her uncle told her this might be the reason why you there. And she listened to him. A lot of young girls, once you become adults, the age of an adult, you cut your ears off. You stop listening. You're not supposed to stop listening. That's where you fall off the horse. You look at the TV, those are stuntmen falling off the horse and getting back up. Like, dang, blasted horse, you stupid. But you fall off a doggone horse for real, you're going to break half your body. You're going to be broke. So when somebody say you fall off the horse with that, you hurt yourself. Not listening to your adults because you are a young adult, you're going to pull down a lot of hurtful things on you, man. Because as you getting good, they're getting refined. They're getting refined like aged wine. They're getting better. They're getting better and better and better and better and better. Smarter. Because they've seen ways and days that you haven't seen. Happy Sabbath to you, brothers and sisters. Okay, guys, let's go back to Esther in the Bible, and we'll get back to the rest of the chapters, the books of Esther. All right. So Esther chapter 2 and now verse 12. Now when every maid's turn was to come into the king Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months, according to the manner of the women, for so were the days of their purifications accomplished. To wit, 6 months of oil of myrrh and 6 months of sweet odors. This is And these women were, this guy is almost, what do you call somebody that's mental like that? It's a narcissist. I'll tell you why. A person who has an excessive interest or admiration, here it says, of themselves. So he chose to be mental like that and to have somebody oversee women that he took captured. And bathe them, or have them bathe themselves. Now, one thing is, I mean, the story doesn't tell his personal life of intimacy, because we may think that maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, I don't know, that he was celibate for that year until he chose. He may have been, I don't know. But 6 months in one oil and 6 months in another oil. I know we always talk about how good they smell. Every day you had to. So for you sisters out there that's you're not getting in the bath every day, he made sure you put the buns in the water. You know, you came out smelling rosy. All right. And with other things for the purifying of women. So they went through other things to keep you clean, to make you right. All for this guy. This guy was mental. Then thus came every maiden unto the king. Whatsoever she desired was given to her to go with her out of the house of the women into the king's house. So this obviously is a different place, not the king's house, but a house where there's nothing but women. And they are waiting to see who's going to be elected by the king, which is, let's call it, we would call this time period what? Let's see, let me pick somebody. Jeremiah.
You said what we call the time period?
Yeah.
I guess approving.
Yeah, right. So the king is proving these people. They would come to him and he would interact, and anything that they desired, was given unto them. So now let's just say Esther, she abhorred it, so she took some of the simple things. She was a natural. And that's why we keep the laws. The laws, guys, will make you a natural. See, beauty is within you. But many of us, we try and cover up the demons with the putting on apparel and this, that, and the third. Go to the book of Peter. First Peter chapter 3. First Peter chapter 3. First Peter chapter 3 and verse 3. So before these sisters become wise, let's just consider the women. Women, be in subjection. Before you have husbands, you are in subjection to the elders. You're listening to the scriptures. You're in subjection to one another, to other sisters. You're in subjection. You're humbling yourself to learn. You're not walking around sassy with one hand on your hip, feeling like nobody can tell you nothing. So, sisters, be in subjection, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won. So they don't have to be in the scriptures to be won by you, to be impressed by you, by your conversation. Because you're supposed to be a natural. This is why I brought you here, to show you that you should be a natural, good, well-behaved, spirited, nice, friendly, beautiful saint, daughter of the Most High. It says, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. That chaste conversation is a conversation that is without lust, physical temptation, and thought process. No. Then it says, who's adorning? Let it not be the outward adorning of plaiting the hair, the sisters getting their hair done, manicures and pedicures, and of wearing of gold. So not the jewelry, or putting on of apparel. So your raiment, all your clothing. But this is what's in today's world. And you find out that they're the damn devil. Behavior is tore from the floor. No rulership over the spirit, no power, no anything. But she looks good. That's no good. But let it be the hidden man of the heart. So the man is talking about your spirit still a woman. So in that which is not corruptible, like clothes, it says even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. Meek is submissive and obedient, and quiet is not loud and clamorous. It's controlled and respectful, which is in the sight of the Most High a great price. So this right here describes the inner man and the inner woman. It describes the inner woman. Okay, so now let's go back. Go back to the book of Esther. This is an Israelite Bible study class that teaches the laws, statutes, and the commandments, and we're going over the lesson of Purim, where the Most High, in the days of Mordecai and Esther, delivered the Israelites from what you would call today a purge, where they were going to destroy and kill all the people that was in their provinces, which was 127 provinces. That's a lot of city. That would have been a huge massacre. But all praises unto the Most High, Israel was delivered from that. We have to teach these history lessons so that we can have faith in the Most High that He would deliver and do the same thing with us in our time of need. So please always feel free to tag along as long as you can and come back whenever you can. All right. So get the book of Esther, second chapter. And now verse 13 again. Thus came every maiden unto the king, whatsoever she desired was given to her to go with her out of the house of the women into the king's house. Verse 14, in the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned into the second house of the women. Let me read that again because I have a question. Judah, in the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned. What happened, Judah?
Is this talking about the her going?
Not a question with a question. The question is, what happened?
She went maybe to her uncle and then came back at night back to sleep with the women.
Okay, stop. Verse 13. Then thus came every maiden unto the king, whatsoever she desired was given to her to go with her out of the house of the women unto the king's house. In the morning she went, and on the morrow she returned. What happened?
So in the morning she went. That's when she went to the king's house, or had time with the king, and then that evening she returned back to where the rest of the women sleep.
Okay, you got it in reverse. Verse 14. In the evening she went. So she went at night. And on the morrow, which was the next day, she returned. So she spent the night. He required the evening with them. Now, it didn't say that he touched them, but they spent the night with him. So we can just imagine, let's subtract the intimacy out because we don't want to put it in there. What could be done during this time period? Huh?
Them getting to know each other.
Right, them getting to know each other. What would you start with? Her name. Okay. Let me see. Bo, what would you start with? In the evening, she came. What would you start with? He like, I don't know. What's this? Come on, fellas. You guys are.
They went on a date. Like they ate, they drank, maybe, you know.
They're at the house.
You go on a date at the house?
Okay. Somebody else. Somebody else. The water. Let me check for Kenyatta first. Kenyatta? Oh, Kenyatta, you there?
Nah, man. they could be talking about like what interests her, what he's looking for.
Start the evening off. She's getting there. What's happening? You know, the evening there. You know, what's the first thing gonna happen? Now, remember, no intimacy, right? Come on, guys. Hey, let me say it like this. I'm sorry. I gotta remember a lot of you guys. You just you green to a lot of stuff. And y'all be getting me in trouble trying to explain stuff to y'all because I'll be throwing this shit back in my face. Yeah, you sat back there and you had said this, and you said that about this experience and that experience. I'm like, it was a teaching lesson. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get the young cubs, how to walk through life, and you're gonna talk about something that happened when I was 19, going on 39. Back in the day, 19, we was growing up. We was every bit of 40. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What happened? See, what happened?
No, because you said take the intimacy part out. So
Yeah, it didn't say that. So I mean,
if we just sitting around hanging, talking about what's on their mind or eating dinner.
okay. See, that's one of the things right there. Because you know what, a woman can come around you. I mean, in time past, I've had people come around me and they're making known. Dude, ain't none of that happening. Ain't nothing finna go down. So you got to make the best of just us kicking it. You know, you got another way to have fun. Like, what is this, dude? Yeah, so these guys are like, well, I don't know what else could be doing then. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, that was it.
That was it. So getting to know, them talking, getting to know. I mean, I'm thinking that. I mean, don't you guys watch TV?
He'll be showing her around,
Then,
college,
yeah.
all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Trying to.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
This what you gonna be. This yours. This could be yours.
Very interesting. I like that. Come on, let's take a tour. See this room and that room and the bar room and this room. This is the trophy room and this room. This is backyard. This is the pool. This and that. The whole time, maybe servants walking around, but they're gonna come back maybe to a dinner. Downscale. We are in these little apartments or whatever, in these houses or whatever. So ding dong, we come on in. He's got the little apron on, and he's trying to show that he can cook and stuff like this. He asking taste of. What's this? Taste of red sauce. So, you like white sauce? I got white sauce in this pot and red sauce in it. Carly, you ain't do all that. See, I told y'all I get all the heat. But they invite her over and had dinner and stuff and talk. They couldn't talk no more and. Shuffleboard, you think they had a shuffleboard game back then? Maybe some checkers or something. It's something, but they say they left the next day. So they had to have a evening full of, things to do. Okay. Another thing that we can get out of this, learn to be around somebody, and it doesn't have to be an intimate setting. It doesn't have to be a physical setting. You don't have to touch, brother. You don't have to get some. You proving somebody that don't have to, because you with that person, it leads to that. Because that's a permanent situation for the rest of life. Right? We can learn something from that. Right? So this guy, he dealt like that. And he a Gentile. All right. So verse 14 again. In the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned into the second house of the women, to the custody of Ashgaz, the king's chamberlain, who kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, that she were called by name. Very interesting. So if he concubined her, do you think he laid with her? Who was that? Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he spent the evening with her. They had a nice conversation. He enjoyed her company. It's so much to the point to where he moved her to that second house that was just for his concubines. I don't think he laid with her, but this is the way I'm seeing it. And he's calling her by name. He actually likes this woman. And with the context before, I know he didn't really want to put his wife away, so he's not necessarily excited about having to get another wife. It's just, she was dealing so disrespectfully, the kingdom had to make her an example. So he just going through with his. He genuinely found somebody he finds very comely, I presume, in our spirit. Yeah. And so he's giving her the special treatment. He's like, wow, I really like this lady. I'm gonna move her to where my concubines are.
I'm not sure about that one, Jeremiah. So I'm gonna keep going, but there's two houses of women. That's the first house, and this is the second house. Because somebody else, Higgy is over the first one, and this guy is over the second one. And he kept the concubines. He kept the concubines. And then it says she came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and that he had called her by name. So here's food for thought. Yeah. If she came in no more into the king, and if the king didn't touch her, then the king should have just sent her home. He had no interest. You know, they made no connection. I'm obviously not going to make you the queen. There's no reason to waste your time. Silence will be better. Oh, okay. Take a moment. Thank you. Okay. So you guys stop whenever you need. I'll just continue. So we're staying in the scriptures, and we can establish two houses, and we can establish that the concubines were kept. So now there's a different title to them. They go from just a woman to being a concubine. They didn't come in as concubines. And then they were kept. They weren't allowed to leave. So the reason why it seems as if they were not allowed to leave is because I could be wrong. It seemed like he dealt with them. If he hadn't have dealt with them, they wouldn't be called a concubine. And they would have went back to the first house. And then it says the king saw them no more. Letting somebody else deal with them and sending her away because she's been humbled, he kept to himself until he would want to or not. And they were fully taken care of. So go ahead. What you was gonna say?
What does concubine mean? Is that another word for maid?
So it says in polygamous societies, that's in parentheses, a woman who lives with a man but has lower status than his wife or wives.
Okay.
Now, concubines, Israelites had concubines. What was the difference between a wife in Israel and a concubine? Let's see, let me pick somebody. Nahum.
The wife was actually, it was actually married, and a concubine was somebody like during when the Israelites went into war, they ended up dealing with, a woman pretty much of another nation, and they became concubine.
Okay, Bo, what is the difference between a Israelite, a wife, and a concubine?
The concubine is a woman that you got through war. So you conquered her, got her through war and you take her. And then a wife is a woman that you got through marriage from like her parents' household.
Right. Okay, just making sure you're paying attention what he said, because what he said was right. Go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 21. Deuteronomy chapter 21 and verse 10. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, so these are the other nations, these are not brother on brother. And the Lord thy God hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive. Pay attention, because I'm going to ask the question. Let me start over. Got it?
Yes, sir. Can you start?
Deuteronomy chapter 21 and verse 10. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy God have delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails. And she shall put the raiment of her captivity off. So she is going to change clothing of her nationality, and shall remain in thy house and bewail her father and her mother a full month. And after that thou shalt go in unto her and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. Now, this is a concubine. It's using the word wife so that you can understand the level of intimacy that transpired. Can we have a concubine in 2026? Why not?
Because we ain't going to war.
Because we're not going to war. Okay. Us think that we at war. And that's why, they out here wilding out with the nations and talking about, yeah, she my concubine. She agreed to it. She agreed to it. She like what you're doing to her, bro. She agreed to the concubine status and stuff. But no, what else? Okay, we're not going to war. We already been to war. We captives. And they taking our women. Our sisters is there the damn concubines. And they don't even realize it. Yeah, we see them all dog. We're like, you doing them like that? And she liking it. Because she ain't took her clothes, she ain't took her captivity clothes off, and now she ain't put his clothing on, what he ain't put on her. The script and flipped, and we ain't even see it. Dang it. Blasted. So this whole time we thinking Ahasuerus has some restraint. But he ain't got his hand in the cookies, y'all. And now he just made them sisters. That's what it seemed like. Like I said, I could be wrong. But that would be a reason why he would not send them off no more. Because he humbled them. Whenever you touch a woman, you don't send a woman off. You're like, no, I can't send you off. Okay, go ahead. What you want to say? So let's go back while Brother Lim talk.
So I was gonna say also, because, how scripture they talk about something being lawful, but it's not expedient, if it doesn't being, believers in the Habashah, that's not a thing that's not something that brothers should be saying. You were following the Habashah, and then you all heard, dealing with trying to take the other nations to be wives, something like they were trying to do stuff like that. It don't look like it. And then none of the disciples or nobody, after Yahushua was on the earth did that. So that's it.
Okay. All right, let's go back to the book of Esther. Verse 15. Now, when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter. We're in the book of Esther, chapter 2, and now verse 15. Now, when the turn of Esther, so Esther hadn't been through the line yet. So now when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go in unto the king, she required nothing. But what Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her. So she was stunning. So Esther was taken unto King Ahasuerus into his house, royal, into the 10th month, royal in the 10th month, which is the month Tebet, in the 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther above all the women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. So after interacting with her, he said, this is it. Right there. One thing about him that we know is that what woman did he like? Submissive. Okay, that's good. That's another thing. Judah,
Beautiful.
man, yeah, he liked him looking good. Because that's what was on his mind with Vashti. Vashti, they said she was good to look upon, right? And he just wanted to show her off. So when he saw Esther, plus Esther, remember the eunuch Haggai, she found such favor. So now let's just say, I don't know his preference, but we know the world. A lot of times these guys, they be kind of funny, right? You know what I mean when I twist that hand like that? Like that. Anybody, do y'all know what that means? Y'all know that much? They kind of young up in there, right? Who knows? Let me see. Julius, you know what that means?
Yeah.
What that mean?
Hey,
Hey, he took it there, right? And then how many snaps, Julius?
what you mean? Oh,
Let me tell. What you say? What they be saying going with it in 3 snaps? Okay. So, you don't take a mandingo to keep your flock of women. It ain't something that you do. No, yeah, they ain't no. So these guys could have been kind of funny, but Esther, he saw the inner person. Yeah, he saw the inner woman. She was a nice person because she obtained favor. He's like, I'm gonna give you and your maid the best, this and that. She must have came in all pleasant and delightful and everything, even in a bad circumstance. And she was a nice looking woman. And so she had the package. So we teach this so sisters can have the package. Okay. And when Ahasuerus saw her, and then just like that night that we talked about, right? They come in, they show the palace, and they have dinner, and then they have talks and stuff like that. He was persuaded above all. What's going on now? Okay, Judah, what you gonna say?
If anybody watched that show Marco Polo, the man that was over the Blue Princess, he was castrated by the king in war, but he spared his life and keeper of the women as well. So men that been castrated, they was put to keep the women. They couldn't do nothing to them.
I'd be like, man, I promise I ain't gonna swear to it. You don't care. What? Man, like I promise. Bro, you got my word. My word is bond. Yes, anybody. I'll tell them. No, I don't take nothing. I promise. Just give me another job. Wow. Castrated them. And you got some evil dudes that's like that, man. These nations, they don't give a dang, man. They gonna cut the dude manhood off to keep the woman. Be like, now how am I gonna have a woman? You got all this, but I'm gonna have this one. You gonna do that? It's crazy. All right. So now Esther, right? Verse 18. So Esther chapter 2 and 18. So then the king made a great feast unto all his princes and his servants, So there's all the madmen that tried to get them to make the law. They helped their house. They cool now. Even Esther's feast. So they called it Esther's feast. And he made a release to the provinces and gave gifts. So a release meaning a rest. So what would that rest be? Think about it, guys. Think. But don't overthink it. He gave them a release. A release from what? I already gave us the answer.
Work.
There you go, Mr. Julius. From work. They had a day off of work. So if it was Esther's day, what do they call something like that today? A what? A holiday. Exactly. A holiday. They didn't have to go to work. He was honoring his wife, Esther. Look at how we pull these details out of the story, guys. The Most High is honoring her and gave gifts according to the state of the king and gave gifts. So don't think it's far-fetched, because you could go to work and what kind of gift can they give you? Name some of the gifts that they give out during one of the days that you show up. Now, maybe they didn't give you this rest. They probably give you a day in the future. Oh, you don't have to come on this day, but then they'll give you some. What are they calling it, Jock? Okay, you never had one. He looked like he had the answer. That's why I called him. You just look excited, don't you?
I was thinking like
Okay, Judah.
They do a lot of potlucks type things, like lunches and on the company type stuff like that.
Okay, so it's something else. Let me see who's working those jobs out there. Jabril.
Like a discount off 20%.
20%. Okay. Another one I thought had it. You guys working. You work for companies. You go in and they give you something, man. And you be wondering, like, should I take this? I get calls like, yeah, should I take this? Christmas bonus.
all like a sensation.
What is it?
Like a sensation.
Success.
I can't
Success?
say it. Yeah, shit.
Check. I've never heard that, but okay. A success check. Never heard that. That's the new one at his job. So listen, okay. So listen. I can't take away from anybody, because that's what they're telling y'all, right? But one I know is like a Christmas bonus, right? People be calling me, they gave me $500. Should I take this? I'm like, yeah, think of it as you keeping the dedication. I do the dedication. So now, this gonna help me. It's that time. They put certain bonuses, the company, they bigwigs, they're giving these money away. They feeling froggy. They feeling like this guy feeling. They have money, they just giving it away. They working you, shit. They making all this money off of you. When you are working hourly wages, trust and believe, they know that they making money off of you. So come a point at a time, they give the whole office that's built of 9 people, they give them $100. That's $900. Or 10 people, $100. That's $1,000. That ain't hurting them. That truly ain't hurting them. They made $750,000. It's her uncle. That was the trick. Well, it says uncle. She called him uncle, but it's her cousin. Okay. No fight about it.
No, we called him uncle.
Let's see.
In verse 15, her father is Mordecai's uncle.
Right.
So I think when we saw uncle, we just picked up uncle. When her father is Mordecai's uncle.
Let's see. Where did it say the first time he brought her up?
Yeah, 2 and
Is it
7.
7? He brought up that is as his uncle's daughter. Okay, so yes, it's the little cousin. Okay, so we stand corrected. What was the point I was trying to stress though? She's listening. She's listening. And it's her big cousin. Sometimes when people are in authority like that, they'll take on a parental role in your life. Okay? But you guys, we got to come up listening to each other. When we don't listen, we're going to hurt ourselves. Use the people that are around you to strengthen yourself, to strengthen you. Okay, so let's move forward. In those days, so now this is verse 21, while Mordecai sat in the king's gate, two of the king's chamberlains, Bigthan and Teresh, those which kept the door, right? Wroth, that's what angry means. They were wroth and sought to lay hand on the king of Ahasuerus. So, and the thing was known to Mordecai, who told it unto Esther the queen. And Esther certified the king thereof in Mordecai's name. So she told, Ahasuerus that Mordecai had told her what Bigthan and Teresh were doing. They probably were upset concerning position and jobs, okay, because this is a giving guy. But if you cut up and you clown and you're not worthy, then you don't get such promotions and stuff like that. A lot of times we do the wrong thing, but we still want the promotions that doesn't come with the work that we're putting out. And when inquisition was made of the matter, it was found out, therefore they were both hanged on a tree. And it is written in the book of the Chronicles of the King. So, every year I read this, the book of the Chronicles of the Kings, is that the Bible? No, it's not. Well, what nation is Ahasuerus? Jah? Yes. So Persians must have chronicles somewhere where this account will be written. Every time I read, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and try and search and find out. Like we have our scriptures are written in every language all throughout the four corners of the world. So all these people, they must have some type of record and stuff like that. I'm gonna go and search to find out. It be in my spirit, but every day goes back to being normal. This passes and I don't think about it again. Okay, but so this is also telling you that the nations, they keep records of world events that happen within them. This has happened to be written by the prophets of the Most High and the account. Just like they have what they call scribes that write things down and keep of things and events that happen throughout their history and their nation. Okay? Right. So, chapter 3, verse 1. And after these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. So, if you don't know, Haman is an Edomite. Edomites have a talent and a gift of pitching sales and promotions and make things believable and this, that, and third. You ever heard of salesman? He'll talk you into buying it, won't he? He's persistent and persuasive. That's how they are. So he talked himself to a seat above the princes of Ahasuerus. That's crazy. Haman is his name. Remember him. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed. So now look at what he's got them doing, and reverenced Haman. Get that definition for us. Reverence. It says deep respect for someone or something. Deep respect for someone or something. Then it says regard or treat with deep respect. So everybody, they reverenced Haman. Verse 2. For the king had so commanded concerning him. So the king had to command them to do that. I wonder why. Why would you think? Put some thought into it. He looks different from everybody. Everybody else is what? They have complexion. They are melanated. Yes. So without the king's commandment, you know how to be. You know how we. you know how we come on this job, and we working around all of them. And you get treated like crap. No respect, no nothing. You got to work 10 times as hard. You got to be early. You got to leave late just to keep your job. That's crazy. Then you got to really turn into one of them. It have brothers talking like them, listening to their music. You trying to conform and be just like them. So I think that this guy would have had a real hard time. A real hard time when our advisor is telling them, don't treat them that way. You show them some respect, dang it. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did reverence him. Mordecai saw what he was. Then the king's servants, which were in the king's gate, said unto Mordecai, why transgresseth thou the king's commandment? Now it came to pass when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matters would stand. For he had told them that he was a Jew. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, so who told who that he was a Jew? Mordecai told the guys that was trying to get him to bow down that he was the Jew, that he's like, I'm a Hebrew. We don't do that. Yeah. No, we Hebrew, we don't do that. You know. Because they were, man, they were going off with it. The man he exalted himself. You know, he wanted to be honored above some honor that he wasn't due for. Plus, you know, we didn't just do it to another nation. We didn't do that. All right. When Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, he was full of wrath. Then was Haman full of wrath. So he felt like Stanley when they was on his grass. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone. So now he's an Edomite. And what does that mean? He thought to lay hands on Mordecai alone. He was going to kill him. He's going to catch him by himself and kill him. Catch him slipping. Okay. He's going to be dirty. Yeah, so you gotta watch it when these Edomites feel some type of way about you. They want to get you alone and be dirty, even if they try to be nice to you. Like, oh man, he's a friend. Stop calling everybody your friend, man. He's a friend. They want to get you alone and lay hands on you, be dirty to you. I believe that that's how a lot of our people throughout the world are getting murdered. People don't like them and they don't see it, and they don't know it, and then they get with them and now they're missing. So this is the book of Esther, chapter 3 and 6. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. So guys, just because Mordecai did not reverence him and bow down to him, who all did that affect? That affected everybody. So now this guy who has the power to make a decision, his mind is seared to the point to where he wants to kill, he wants to create a massive destruction and kill everybody because of one guy. Be mindful of the example that we set in the earth, because you can set somebody off and they can go and harm somebody else that looks just like you. This stuff is real, man. So verse 7, now in the first month that it is, in the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast Pur, that is the lot, before Haman, from day to day and from month to month to the 12th month, that is the month of Dar. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed amongst the people in all the provinces of the king. Pay attention. And their laws are diverse from all people. So these Israelites were living according to the laws of the Most High, and they were trying to do things differently than what other people are doing. Unlike what you see in the society and environment today, to where people are, you can't tell that we have different laws, because what's the saying that we are one people, one nation, undivided, indivisible, under God, and all that stuff. What's the saying? We the people. Yeah, listen. So somebody said, we the people of the United States of America. What they call it?
Pledge of Allegiance.
They just added in your chat talking about one blood, one
blood. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Listen up. It says, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic of which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with indivisible, indivisible. That's what it says. Indivisible. With liberty, with liberty and justice for all. So now listen. So when we're out there getting on, guys, when we're out there, they cannot tell the difference between one person or the next person. We not divided. That's what this is saying. Indivisible. We're not. It says it. Down at the water. They think I'm mispronunciating. Hey, we're not divided. Everybody act the same. So we're worse. We're worse than what we're reading, than what they were, because they were able to notice. Now, back to second Esther chapter 3 and verse 8. Their laws are diverse from all people. So here it's showing you that Israel was doing stuff differently, and they can tell. Neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. Now, Ahasuerus already knew that these people were doing their own thing, but it didn't hurt them. But he's going to pacify the con man, because in his mind, he thinks the con man is somebody, just like we think. If it ain't them, it ain't right. Israelites truly be thinking that they do it better. Yeah, they do it better. If it please the king, let it be written that they may destroy. One thing that I can say about this guy is it easy to be influenced? It seemed like it. Yeah. It's not somebody else finna tell him to do something, and he finna do it. That they may be destroyed. And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasuries. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it to Haman, the son of Ammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. And the king said unto Haman, the silver is given to thee, the people also, to do with them as it seemed good to thee. Just like that. Money to destroy us. He could do whatever it is he wanted to do. He could have rounded us all up, as many as he can find and catch, and did whatever, mass massacre or sold into slavery, more slavery for different parts. It was given, that power was given to him. Then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month, and there was written according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king's lieutenants and to the governors that were over every province, and to the rulers of every people of every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, in the name of King Ahasuerus was it written and sealed with the king's ring. And the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and cause to perish all Jews. You see this? Massive destruction. And this is why we keep Purim, to acknowledge that the Most High is not going to let this happen, and he's going to deliver us from this decree that we had no power. He had no power in doing it. They was really going to kill men, women, and children completely unalive. It would have been a massacre, dead bodies everywhere. And the Most High stepped in because His mercy endure forever. All we got to do is keep fighting and trying. But notice what's up. It was such a difference that it was said that their laws were diverse from everybody else's, and that they didn't keep the king's commandments. They didn't follow him. So that's why the Most High did the things that He do. But you got people that's living. We the people. I pledge. You know, and then they wanted the Most High to not let things happen. And then when we tell them that this is the reason why, I don't want to have nothing to do with your God. You are called, you this and y'all that, this, that, and the third. Because we're different from the allegiance that you have sealed and signed and yourself to. When you see that and you try with all your best, with the spirit of humility, just walk away. If you can't convince them or they don't want to see it at this time, just walk away. It's nothing else you can do. You ain't got to cuss them as you go. You ain't got to call them out their name as you leave. You ain't got to feel nothing. Just go. That's Christ right there, whom the world calls Christ. We call Yahweh Shai. That's Yahweh Shai. That's the highest level of servitude unto the Most High, because that's the Most High's business. Those people and them believing in Him, because if He wanted to, He can flip the switch on, and enable them and call them into this word, into the knowledge of the truth. They can actually have eyes to see and ears to hear, if that's what He wants. It's not your job to punish them with insults because they're not ready to see it. We're not to be like that, because that's not how you got it when you heard it. And the Most High brought it back to you a second time, or brought it to you a third time, or fourth time, or whatever. And we're in the truth, and we're still getting it the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth. We're still getting it. We're still growing. All right. So we in verse 12. So this is sent. No. Verse 13, the letters were sent by post unto all the king's provinces to destroy, kill, and cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women. Man, we related to little children. Just imagine in a civil war, people running up and disrespecting them, or you got a little children, you having little babies. Just imagine that. You know how horrifying that is? What stopped this from happening, Jeremiah?
Praying and fasting of our people.
Okay. Jabril, what stopped this from happening? Bo?
Keeping up the laws.
Israel keeping the laws. They did pray and fast too. But Israel keeping the laws, that stopped this from happening, man. That's why we want to keep the laws of God. Mm-hmm.
What's that? It's not a saying, but you said it in class. You said the work was basically the work you working, keeping the laws was the evidence or something to the Most High that He was seeing, like something about work. You actually doing the work was kind of like speaking the language, like speaking to the Most High. Like, so with Israel actually, keeping the laws, they was actually showing the work of the Most High, where, their prayers were heard. But I'm kind of chopping it up, but I sent a class that you just recently did.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it sound, Israel, us keeping the laws of the Most High, that is like an evident, and that is a show unto the Most High to help us and to protect us on a personal level. And that's why I think it was kind of said like the last class about that's why we go to the necessity because of the famine, because of the destruction that we see that they are comfortable with. We don't like to see our people living the way that they live. So we go out to them and teach them, and hopefully they return back into their places and they make amends with their wives, their husbands, their children, their neighbors, brothers and sisters, their mothers and fathers, and they walk in the spirit and they put off drunkenness and intoxication and all different other type of wickedness by applying the scriptures. And when we do that, we bring peace between Israel and the Most High. We be very instrumental. The Most High, the Lord, didn't just give us this knowledge and understanding just to be giving it to us so that we can sit on it and not speak about it and preach a path to say, hey, this is what you do to be a different person. This is how you evolve. This, that, and the third. He didn't put that in you for that. He put it in you so that you can be a living testimony of not just the good, but also the bad too. All right. So back to the book of Esther. Sabbath Shalom. Back to the book of Esther. You okay? Take a walk. All right. So, where we stop at?
Where's the end of 13?
4,
3 and 13.
3 and 13. Okay. So the book of Esther, chapter 3 and 13. So he wanted to destroy both young and old, little children and women in one day. And upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Dar, and to take the spoil of them for a prey. So we want to take all our possessions. So don't think that our children are going to be safe. We have to educate our children to not be so trustworthy, but to be obedient and listen and trust in us. Okay? The copy of the writing for a commandment to be given to every province was published unto all people that they should be ready against that date. So that means that all the other nations, this is not to Israel, pay attention, but all these other nations, they were delivered and told to be ready. So when the day come, what you think they're gonna do? Ja?
Probably not go up the house or something, things like that.
Okay, so that is the complete opposite. Listen to the story. Okay, I'm gonna read verse 14. The copy of the writing for the commandment. Now listen to the commandment, job. It's in verse 13. The letters were sent by post unto all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, and little children and women in one day. Jump down to verse 14, brother. Verse 14. The copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people. Here's the question, that they should be ready against that day. What are they going to be ready for? Is the question.
To kill all the Jews.
To kill, brother. Go on a killing spree. Anybody that you see, you could kill a baby. You could kill a woman and her baby. You can kill a pregnant woman. My sister around her. I'm not sister. I'm bringing it the horror to life. You can kill a family, brother. It didn't matter. You ain't finna get persecuted. You see a man and a woman, and they got 4 or 5 kids with them, and it's you and do dirty. You can kill all of them. You can kill anybody you want without penalty. Be ready against that day. When that day comes, you can kick their doors in. You know, we're listening. You can kick their house in. You can stop their car. You can blow it up. You can tilt their wagon. You can do whatever it is. You can kill their stock. You can take their stuff. Be ready when on this day, because they wanted everybody doing it and unified, because they are trying to send us into extinction. They want everybody gone. So now you understand? And you know what? They didn't care if we read it or not. Because there ain't no picking and choosing. This I send it to this house, send it to 5200, but don't send it to 5202. Send it to 3600, but don't send it to 3909. Nah, make it publish. So when we will see it, what will happen to us? Fear, brother. And fear and dread and terror will make you feel what, brother? Weak. When you horrified and you scared like that, you're weak. You have no strength. Your flesh will quake. You ever seen somebody shake, brother? So that's a psychological warfare. So it ain't no hiding that this is what they wanted done. They putting it out there that this is what. So if me and my family, which we are Israelites, if we're in town, this will make Israelites that's in Christ right now today in 2026 quake, scared. It will. Because our faith is growing. It may not be established. There are people that may be ready to die. Everybody ain't ready to die. See? So this will make you quake to your core, tremble. What would it do to the people that's encouraged to kill them? What would it do to them? Power them. Yeah, brother. Every little weapon that they got, I'm gonna put this boat to the test. I'm building this. I'm doing that. They're gonna try all of the everything that they got, man. They ain't scared. This is what we were up against. This is what you got to know and you got to understand. Now, let me tell you why. Why y'all know this? Because y'all taking time out of y'all day. We've been here 2 hours and 7 minutes in the scriptures. You took 2 hours to hear a lesson. That's something that our people was really up under the gun. How many people, when you walk outside them doors, really took the time to sit down and go into the scriptures and say, as a black people before, they don't know nothing about this. So when the stuff hit, it's gonna hit like the tornado hit without a warning or a sign. They just gonna be taken. But you ain't gonna be taken. Y'all ain't gonna be taken. Let me tell you why.